And welcome back to another episode of the Plant.Body.Soul podcast. I am your co-host, Jennifer Miles.
And I'm Gordon Ogden.
Nice to see you again, Gordon.
Good to see you.
This time we are doing something a little bit different. We are featuring some highlights from our podcast Confessional, taken back from Friday High Day Happy Hour here in our office at Plant.Body.Soul headquarters in June. We sampled these bites from the community, asking them some questions that you might be interested in. Let's take a look.
I do not remember the first time I got high because that's how long ago it's been. But I will tell you one of the most memorable, first encounters. When I did a mask, and we were in college, in North Carolina, school, doesn't matter. So a couple of us were doing the face mask, and so it was one of those ones that the police wear,
like the gas mask,
one of those ones. And so we did that, passed it around. And so as we were getting ready to leave and get in the car, I no longer knew how to breathe anymore. I panicked because I was like, oh my God, I need the mask to breathe. So I was convincing myself that I needed to put back on the mask just to be able to breathe. And it took me maybe a whole minute, and a minute not being able to breathe feels like a long time. But it took me a whole minute to realize, bitch, just breathe through your nose. So, yeah, it was, I have not done the mask again, but it was I still remember it 10 years later. So, yes.
Wow, the gas mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds intense.
It does. It's never really called me.
No.
Yeah.
But there's something for everybody.
There really is. There really is.
My name is John Gibson. The first time I got high, I was 14 years old. We were in my friend's backyard, David Homan. We were smoking the dirtiest of the ditch weed out of a A&W pop can.
Okay.
That's a new one.
Obviously, we bought one that was called Nickel Bag back then. It was 5 grams, and probably 1.5 grams of it was actual consumable cannabis. And we went to town. And I remember us afterwards, we were out front and spinning around, just spinning in circles. And then we got in the car and he was driving. And I remember laughing for probably about 45 minutes straight. Didn't stop laughing.
Probably not a good idea to
that
drive.
was the first time and definitely was not the last time.
Well,
so 14 seems to be a
pretty
common
common age.
age first, and then the can. I used the can too.
yeah, it makes an appearance once
Yes,
again, but I
it
love that
really
it was
does.
an A&W pop
Yes,
can.
very specific.
Very
Exactly.
specific. That was a new one.
That's great.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear everybody's experiences around the first time they got high and how it's not really that unique. It's really something that I think connects all of us that have found our way to the plant. And I enjoy hearing the little nuances that might be slightly different,
Sure.
but it's definitely a way that we are all connected.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely fun to see where and how and then kind of what happens after they consume, even, him saying that he's running around, spinning in circles, laughing.
And then getting in the car and
then
driving.
getting in the car. I don't know about that. But.
Oh my goodness. Well, I mean,
he was 14, so
yeah,
he wasn't driving.
We
but-
all make mistakes.